Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. So I'm still coming back again with this Little Red Robin Deluxe craft pad, and I'm going to be playing with these circle ones today. So let's just pop those out. It's pretty much going to break my pad up now. And one of the backing sheets, this one matches there, so I know it goes with this kit. And if I turn that round, oops, try not to wreck everything in the meantime, and we'll grab that one out. Okay, so we'll pop those to the side, and I'll also just pop those to the side for the moment. So as always, I am starting with a piece of card that is 6 by 12, but I'm not making a square card as such today. I'm going to make a stepper card. So I'm going to score at 4 inches, and then I'm going to turn that around and score at 2 and 4. Okay, that's just because I've got the smaller board, so mine only goes up to 8 inches. If you have got the larger board, you can go across and just score that at 4, 8 and 10. So we're going to fold these in, just making sure we're keeping them quite straight. And then up. And then down, and then we've got a card. If I show you that, that's how it is going to look. So now we just need to decorate that. So we've got 2 pieces here to decorate. We've got this piece here which is 2 by 6, and this which is 4 by 6. So let's bring our trimmer in, and I thought I would have a look. So it is gold foiling, but I didn't know how this would look. I brought in a bit of diamond sparkles to see whether that would set that off okay. So let me just see, because I thought with the red and the black it might well do. Let me just get that in the right place. No, I'm not liking that. We'll go with the gold. Alright, so let's grab some gold. So just as always, I'm just going to go 2 notches, which is 2 is it 16, 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah, 2/16 underneath the inches. So I just call it a notch. Each notch is 1/16. On my trimmer, if I bring that up a little bit, hopefully you'll be able to see, I've got here's my 4, and then I've got a smaller notch, and then I've got a larger notch. So I always sort of measure to those larger notches, which is the second one along. Okay, and that's how most times my my layers do work out quite well, but I always do just double check them. So it's 2 notches under the 4 and 2 notches under the 2, and then I want 2 notches under the 2 and 2 notches under the 6. Let's pop those out of the way. Hopefully that should fit onto that front piece quite nicely, and it does look like it does. So then we're going to come to this piece. This is the printed cardstock. So again, I'm going to cut this to 4 notches under the 6, because our length of our card is 6. So that's the piece for the next card. And then I'm going to cut the, let's have a look. So we want 4 inches, so I've got more than that there. So I'm just gonna, first of all, I'm just gonna cut a little bit off this edge, just because There's a little bit of dent in that cardstock there, and I don't want that to be on my card. And then I'm going to cut this to 4 notches under the 2, and that is going to be our front piece. Probably going to put some ribbon on that as well. And then we want a piece which is 4 notches under the 4. So if I do it that way, we are going to lose all of that image. So if I take that to the edge, so I'm just looking, my line for cutting is running down the middle here, so I'm just trying to keep in that bow, and then I can turn that around and do my 4 notches under the 4. It's going to take it right along there. Okay, so I'm just going to pop those onto those layers, just make sure they sit quite nicely. And I think that was okay. And then that one should fit quite nicely onto there. So might just take a little bit more off here. Just because the border on that one is a little wider. So I'm just going to take a bit extra off. Let's just see how that works. Yeah, that works a little better for me. Okay, so we can keep these bits. Obviously, we don't want to waste anything. So the other thing I want to do is to bring in some red ribbon. So this is that same grosgrain ribbon that I was using the other day. This is the last of it. So I'm just going to roughly cut that to size. I'm going to start assembling this piece here. So I'm just using some of my all-purpose glue. And you just have to be a little bit careful when using it with mirror card, because it can take the shine off. I do mention it every time just so that in case anybody new is watching and doesn't know, just have to make sure it doesn't splurge out the sides. So just a light touch, and then I usually just put a bit of tacky glue on the ends just to make that glue quite quickly, because this will take a little while to dry, and sometimes what will happen, especially with me, is that I will be doing another bit and I'll inadvertently move this, and then by the time I've noticed, it's, you know, it has gone off and set. So just be super careful with it. Just keep an eye on it if you are doing anything else to it afterwards. So I'm just using some red liner tape, super sticky, just to stick this ribbon into place. And I'm not sure if I'll put a bow on this yet. It's just really just to jazz up this piece and just bring a bit more of that red in. And also we've got a ribbon on the top here, so it does tie in quite well. And I'm going to put it over this brown line, so we'll pop that over, and just trying to keep it nice and straight without pulling the card, because sometimes if you pull the card too much, you'll find that your actual card will bow as well. So just another thing to watch out for. Okay, so I'm going to pop some tacky glue under that ribbon, and what that will do is that will glue that down and make sure it doesn't fray. And then I'll pop a bit in each of these corners. we'll have that way up. And put that on. So that's start. And then this piece here is just a little bit of glue all over, a little bit of tack in the corners. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. I've just got into the habit of doing it lately. So put that one there, and then again more blue. And then this piece is going to pop into there. Okay. So it looks like when you fold it up you don't see a lot, but when it is actually on a shelf, which is going to be very difficult for me to show you, it does sort of open up, so you do see that image there is not wasted. Okay. So let's bring in the topper sheet. So obviously I do want a sentiment, but I also wanted to use some of these smaller toppers as well. So we've got the one on the basket there. So we've got a choice of this nice one on the post box, the one with the 2 robins in the letter slot. But I think I'm going to go for this one that looks like it's on some rose hips. And then we want a sentiment. I think to try this one we might have to go for a slightly smaller one. And I'm also going to pop this one out as well. Don't know if I'm going to use that one yet, but we will see. Okay, so let's have a little look. We'll open that out. So my feeling was going a little bit higher on there. Maybe having that one in the centre on there. I might swap that topper out because that one seems to be exactly the same as that one. So let's swap. I think we'll go for the one on his own because he's a lonely bird. So let's swap for that one there. Keep that to the side. And then we'll glitter this up as well. Okay, so that's the plan. So obviously when this goes into an envelope, it's not going to, because I'm going over the top, it's not going to fit in a 6x4 envelope. If you want it to fit in a 6x4 envelope, then bring that topper down so that that's within that thing. You could swap them over, have the smaller one there, and you know, maybe that one there or that one on there to link those up, which actually I do like a bit better. All right, let me just rethink this. Yeah, I am, you know, I'm going to swap them around. We'll keep that in a 6x4. We'll raise these up on the front and we will do that. Okay, so let's start with, on the back I'm going to use some of these Hunkydory pads. These are probably about a 2mm in thickness. So I'm going to put that into there, onto there, and pop the backs off. I think I've done a 6x4 card in a long time. Okay, so I'm going to pop that one onto there. And then this one I'm going to come in with some Crafters Companion ones. Now obviously we don't want them on the top bit here, so we just want to go from around about the robin's head. So I would do want a nice amount on there for a good bit of support. So let's just pop that one there, and since the back came off that one, we'll use that one as well. I don't know if you do the same in your crafting, but I start off with an idea in my head, and then this has gone completely different to how I thought it was going to, but it's crafting is a journey, isn't it? Okay, so that's going onto there, and then we're going to have this one coming off. So if I pop double pad there, and a single pad on there, just going to trim that piece off. Okay. We'll pop a bit of glue on. Hopefully that's not going to go over my little topper. I don't think it will. There we go. So that is just a little bit higher. And if I just move these bits out of the way, what I will do, I can just see a tip of a foam pad there. So, and it's just the underneath one, the lowest level. So I'm just going to use my knife, trim that away. You can't see it anymore. So let's grab a piece of paper. I'm going to turn this round that way and bring in my quickie glue pen, and then we're just going to add some glitter along these little snowy bits, and it's just a case of just popping it on where you want it to go. No rhyme or reason to it really. Doesn't seem to be any sort of snow on the top of the basket, so I'm not going to bother putting any there. Just seems to be all on these little sprigs here. The holly and the little mini basket. Okay, and I'm going to be using my Glamour Dust. This is crystal, just my favourite glitter. Super fine, and I've had it for a long time. And I'm only, look, you can see, I mean, you've seen me put this on cards loads of times in my videos, but it's still just at the top of this bottle, just lasts forever. It's fantastic stuff. Right, put that back into there before I knock that over. Okay, and that is going to be our first card finished. Obviously it does need a little insert. I'm not going to do it on camera, but all I'll do is cut one of the inserts in the book to 8 by, no, it won't be 8 by 8. It will be about two or three notches under 8 by 8, folding it in half and popping it inside there. Okay, but for now what I need to do is just wait for that glue to dry, use my fine brush to brush off any excess, and then I can just burnish this top line here when that's dry, and that will be good to go. So we'll pop that to the side for a second, and then I'm going to move straight on to card number 2. So again, I've got another piece of 6 by 12, like so, and this one is just going to be a normal sort of tent fold. So we're going to fold this in half, so I'm going to score it at 6. So we've got a 6 by 6 card blank. Here we go, like so. And again, I'm going to come in with that gold Mary card. Just to pick up on that gold foiling in the kit. So again, I'm cutting that down to 2 notches under the 6 square. Just going to pop that on, make sure that's quite nice, and I like that. And then we've got this piece here that we were using from before. So we need this to be 4 notches under the 6. So we'll trim this down that way. And then I'm going to cut it along the grey pieces. Well, there's a grey line, sort of cloudy, snowy sort of line. And then this piece needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 notches under the 6. So let's just see. That should fit on quite nicely, but I might take a bit more off. Actually, I'm going to just take it down. Let me just make sure I'm doing it the right way. Yeah. So I'm just going to take that to 6 notches. So it's just over 5.5, because we are putting these bits back on. So it just gives me a bit of room there to have a little play about with those. So let's pop this together. So again, with my all-purpose glue, this is the Crafter's Companion one, and the tacky glue is also the Crafter's Companion one, the Clow all-purpose. And I think we'll go that way round. That nice press down. Okay, and then these pieces again, coming in with my all-purpose, bit of tacky glue in the corners, and I want them with the holly going in. So basically we're just reassembling that border to the size of our card, and we just need to make sure we do those borders on each side, just make sure they sort of match. I'm going to do the same with this top piece. Just bring that down a little bit. And if you wanted to hide the joins, I don't mind it because I've cut it exactly on the edge of that grey, so it doesn't look any different to me. But if you were unhappy with that, what you could do is go around with a really fine ribbon, maybe a green or a red to pick up on those red berries, and just tuck it behind like I did with the other card. So, and that would hide the join. Or if there's a border on your card, on the toppers, I'll show you in a second what I mean, you could use that and then go raised over the top. Okay, so I'm just popping that on, just making sure that's pretty central and giving it a good press down. So I'll show you what I mean by a border. So on that last one I did, things are falling in the bin, let's bring that out. So like on the last one we had this fine border here, so you could go along with a border. If you haven't got anything that matches, like this one doesn't have a border on it, what you could do is cut along here, nice straight line, map that onto some gold or some red or some green and use that as your border instead. Okay, so the topper we're going to use is the one that is with this set, and that is this one with the basket again. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, so I'm just going to look at the sentiments. I think I'm probably going to want a circular one. So I'm going to pop out this just for you. It's got the present on that matches that present there. Also just going to bring that one back in because I think I'm going to be using him as well. But we will see. So let's start by popping these frames out and then we'll see if we can get an arrangement that I like. So there's quite a few pips on this one. So I'm just being super gentle with this frame. And I'm thinking about not having it in the frame like I normally do. I'm thinking about having some kind of arrangement. I really want to try and keep this holly bit on here if I can. So if I'm going to be covering anything up, I'm hoping it's going to be this piece here. So maybe move that in a little bit. That one a little higher. That one there. So we want this one as well. Let's see. Don't think we want that one. Nope, don't like that gold one. Let's get rid of that. Let's discount that straight away. Okay. Just try moving those around a little bit more. I'm just trying to decide which way I want those to go. And these are all ideas. I mean, you might like one of these ones that I discount. Yeah, I think that is what I want to do. So let's get some foam pads. So if I pop those two out of the way, and I'm going to start by popping some Crafter's Companion. These are probably about a 2 or 3mm pad on here first of all. So I'm leaving this one in place so I know where I've kind of got to get this piece in. And what I want to do is just sort of try and emphasize the circle. So we've got all the circles here. So in a second when I put some gems on, I'll be wanting to sort of tie into that circle sort of spacing as well. So just popping some tacky glue on the back. I might use my in. It's good. And then I can take this one off, and this is slightly deeper. It's around about a 5mm pad, again a Crafter's Companion one. A bit sticky actually, they're sticking to my fingers and not quite going where I want them, but let's get that all the way around. Oh, what's going on with that one? Let's get rid of that one because it's supposed to be a smaller one, but it's not breaking off, so I'll just swap that one out. Like I say, they are a bit sticky. Happy with that. you guys been watching the birthday week? I mean, they had it all last week. I think it's up to the 21st. So we've got another couple of days. I still haven't placed my order. Big confession. There are some things I want. But I might wait until the last day. I know there's some nice dyes coming, they're saying. I was hoping there would be the horsey kit. But I wanted to get a couple. I'm probably not going to get the whole set of the rainbow flowers, but I did want to get a couple because I love the fuchsia and the rose. I think there's another couple that I liked, so I might just get a couple of the toppers of that one. And I thought it might be nice to get a couple of the ones from there was a fairy one, wasn't there? Yeah, just to do a video on. I think they're not for anyone in particular. I think I've said before, unfortunately in my family it's still mostly boys. So we're just going to pop that back on and into place. So that tacky glue just gives us that little bit of wiggle room. So for this one, what I'm going to need to do is not put any foam pads there and just put some on this edge. So, and they need to be at the same height as this one, otherwise it's gonna wobble a bit, and also when it goes through the post you run the risk of it getting squashed. So if I can get this off my hand, there we go. And what I'm going to do is just pop that. Yeah, that feels nice and secure. So again, taking these backs off. These are being a little bit more stubborn. Come on now. Yeah, so I quite like that fairy one as well, so I'd like to do, and I've had kits like that before, you know, they've done lots of the sort of black foiling with the fairies, Twilight Forest and so on, and they always make really super stunning cards. Okay, so I'm just going to slot that back in onto there. Just got a little bit of glue there, so I'll just wipe that off. And I'm not going to worry about this bit here because it is pretty much supported up to there anyway. It would be super hard to get a pad to be exactly right under there. And then this one, we want to do the same thing. So just going to pop some along there. Just one more if it'll come off. There we go. And then we struggle with the backs again. And this is because they've been sat in a warm room out in the open. I'll just pop some glue on the back just so that it will glue to there where it hits it. And then we're just going to pop over like so. And then we need some gems, and I think I am going to come in with the red because we've got the red here, we've got little bits of it all over, so I'm going to come in with these pearls just because they are my favourite thing. So just move that out of the way. And I'm going to pop these onto there. And like I said before, what I want to do is accentuate these circles. So I want a couple the same size and one not the same size. So let's see, 6. Just thinking of, so my plan was sort of to go like this. Out a little bit. But we've got 6, and you know how I hate 6. What we could do is maybe another small one. Oops, come back here, you. You will not escape. Those are stuck together. So let's just move those along. Sorry about this. And then we've got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 circles all together. I think that will do for me. I'm quite happy. Okay, so let's just clean this little bit off my nozzle. Just going to move those back a little bit. Just pop some glue on. I'm quite happy with that one. I'm just going to move these back again. Oops. And there's those. And again, glue is blowing bubbles, but hopefully there should be enough there for these to stick to. Shouldn't need a lot. They're any tiny little gems. Okay, so I'm happy with that. If you wanted to take that even further, what you could do is glitter along here, because you've got that kind of frosty snow along there. You could even add some glitter onto here if you wanted to. I think the foiling's enough, to be honest, so I'm not going to bother. So let's bring in the other card we did. I'm just going to brush off that excess glitter. Oops. And we'll give that a good burnish down there, and a burnish down at the top there. So we've got our 2 cards like so. So those are the cards that I'm going to be making, that I've made for today. So that's it for today. I am going to come back with this pad again. I use up that other page, and then we'll move on to Delightful Robins, unless something else comes up in the meantime. I am enjoying playing with this. You know, robins, I love robins, and especially Christmas time. And when I walk the dog, I take Henry out, not Henry, George. I take him around the lake. There's usually one little robin that follows me around. You know, you always, like when we went to register Mum passing away, there were 3 robins outside the window, which was quite weird because obviously, I don't know if I told you before, my nan, my aunt had passed away a couple of years ago. We lost my nan around about 10 years ago now. So, you know, it was quite weird that there were the 3 robins, and one of them was really skinny as well, like Mum. Mum was so skinny at the end because, you know, everything just burned energy, even though she wasn't moving anywhere. Just breathing just burned energy on her. Even whatever she ate just got burned up, so she was really, really thin. So yeah, I have this sort of special connection with robins, and I think a lot of people do as well. That sort of spiritual connection with them. So it's really nice to work with them, and I love the fact that they've done quite a few robin kits this year. I never get tired of them, honestly, I don't. But I'm waffling again. So that's it for today. Back next time again with this kit. I'll probably I will use that one with the letterbox, and we'll make a couple of cards with that. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Happy crafting. Bye.